morning guys! So you've seen my recap of what happened in 2024. Now it is time to look ahead at what is coming in 2025 for this channel and for me personally. And first of all, I want to give a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. I started last year with around 900 subscribers and well, I've now got 6.5, near enough. I did set the goal of 10,000. It was a bit of a stretch, but I am going to set myself yet another crazy goal and try and hit 20,000 by next year. So if you have watched a few of my videos and you haven't yet clicked that button, or you go and enjoy this video, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. But let's get into what is planned for 2025, shall we? Okay, so the plan that I have is to try and hit up at least one theme park a month. There are some months where that is a little bit harder, specifically in the winter months, but we are in January right now, and possibly around about the time that you are watching this video, I will be freezing my bits off in Germany because I am off to Phantasialand. Now I will be staying in the Charles Lindbergh Hotel, and there will be 3 videos coming up from that trip. There will be a vlog of the park itself, there will be a review of the Charles Lindbergh, and then there will be the usual hints and tips videos. So January sorted. As for February, I'm definitely going to get to 1 park and I might get to 2. I'm definitely going to go to Blackpool for the kind of Nickelodeon event. Obviously not really the park fully open and certainly not a huge selection of rides that are going to be appealing to me, but I am hoping to be a bit nosy and kind of poke around the park and see what's going on. The other one is, I've noticed Drayton Manor says it's open for periods in February. I'm still trying to confirm which rides, like if it's the full lineup, because I've not been on Gold Rush. And if Gold Rush is open, then I'd like to get to Drayton Manor in February because I suspect it'll be really quiet. That takes us on to March, and of course that is when typically the majority of the season starts to open up here in the UK. So I will be at opening day for Blackpool and I will be at opening day for Towers. So I'm sure many of you will also be there. If you do see me, please do come and say hi. I do love interacting with you guys. So currently in April, I don't have anything set in stone, but I have penciled in Energylandia. It was a park I hoped to get out to last year and that did not happen. And I believe the park reopens in April. So hopefully I can get over to Poland and experience a ridiculous number of new coasters. And then if we move on to May, the only thing that is currently confirmed is that my youngest daughter and I are walking the big one, Walk the Big One XL, which I've kind of been excited about before I booked it. And then I booked it and went, what have I done? I mean, I've been on that coaster many, many times and I've been on taller coasters, but typically you're in a, you're strapped into a ride and you're there for a few seconds and then you're off. This will be me walking up it. So I'm kind of maybe potentially a little bit nervous, but that's definitely happening in May. There is a possibility of a social event. It's not 100% confirmed yet. So you may see me and a bunch of other channels in a park, or 2 parks potentially. So there may be 2 new parks that I've never visited in May. So June is a huge one, a massive one, and I'm gonna have to read this because I actually can't remember half the things that I'm doing in June. But long story short, I'm gonna go over to America for 2 weeks for the Your Experience Guide trip. Now Scott has put on a ridiculously detailed itinerary with so many theme parks. Now, there's a slight frustration with this, as we'll cover as I go through this list, but let me go through all the parks that we're gonna visit, shall we? So first of all, we are gonna go to Six Flags Great Adventure. And immediately, you can see the problem, because I had hoped to get on Kingda Ka and Green Lantern, even though people didn't rate it very highly and said it was terrible. Well, clearly there's 2 rides that have gone, as well as a bunch of other attractions in that park, but that is at least 2 coasters that were initially on the itinerary and definitely are not. Although Flash Vertical Velocity, that should theoretically be open, so that'll be a new coaster, we'll get on that one. Then we're also going to Maurice Pier and Beachfront Water Parks. There's 7 new credits in that park. So in theory there was 15 in Great Adventure. I'm guessing that means there's now 13. Then we're doing Six Flags America, which is 8 coasters. Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which is 10 coasters, and that includes their new Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. King's Dominion was going to be 13, but I believe they just removed a coaster too, so there's a theme here in America right now. Oh, but I think we will get on Rapterra, which is the new B&M Wing coaster, although if you've seen the test footage of it, it looks rough. I don't know what's going on with B&M right now. So then we've also got Adventure Park USA, which is 3 coasters, Dutch Wonderland 3 coasters, Noble 6 coasters, Dorney Park 8 coasters, Hershey Park 14 coasters. And then I'm staying in New York for a couple of days after the event's finished, so I might get a few extras. I think some people have said there's like a Nickelodeon land and something else. I was considering going out to Cedar Point because I really want to go out to Cedar Point, but it looks like that might be a little bit tricky for the amount of time I've got to get there, do the park and come back. So that might happen. Long story short though, June is going to be a massive month for me traveling. it probably will take months for those videos to come out because there'll be a lot of editing going on, but there will be a ton of content from various parks around America. And then the rest of the summer months at the moment are unplanned. Now there's a few reasons for that. One is because I haven't thought of where I want to go yet. Two is because typically there'll be a bunch of events coming up. I know the typical organisers of events have said they've got things in the pipeline, they haven't announced them yet. They might not all be in the summer, but I suspect some of them will. And then it's also that tricky one of where do I want to go, because if I go internationally in sort of July, August, then that's when it's stinking hot. And I've done that before. I did Florida in July before the channel started. It was ridiculous. I did Spain in July last year. It was ridiculous. Too busy, too hot, so I just don't know what I'm going to be doing in the summer months. But worst case scenario, I will be in the UK. You never know, I might go down south and do all the parks around London. I even get to Poultons Park. Right, so that then moves on to October, and that of course is Halloween and all the scare stuff. Now, if you've watched the channel long enough, you know last year I had no intentions of doing any of that, and then by coincidence ended up in Scarefest at Towers. So I will redo Scarefest this year, and hopefully we get some new stuff. So there's that. Journey to Hell, I was reasonably impressed with that this year. There was definitely some weak areas in it, so hopefully Blackpool will just kind of improve upon that this year. And I also want to get down to Thorpe Park and do Fright Nights. Never done that, but it seems like the next one up. I know there are so many options around the UK, but if I can get those three out of the way, then I'll be a happy man. So November, I'm gonna go back to Germany. It's not booked yet, but I said all the last year I wanted to get out to Europa Park, and I did not do it. And of course, I really want to get on Voltron and Nevera. So the original plan was to do a week in Germany and do various parks, including Phantasialand, but as I say, around about the time you're watching this, I'm in Phantasialand, so that's going to be broken up now, and I suspect Europa Park will just be a dedicated trip, go and do that park. And November, from what I've seen, seems a reasonably quiet time of year to go and visit, so hopefully in November I will be back out in Germany again. Which then just leaves December, obviously, and that's always a tricky month. Now, last year, if you've seen the video, I went to Disneyland Paris for the day, which was ridiculously expensive. But there's obviously a limited number of parks open at that time. Obviously, if you're in the warmer climate like America, fine, I'm not going over there in December. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I did watch Joe's video on Hogmanay and New Year's where he was in Efteling, and that kind of idea appealed to me. Not necessarily Efteling. I've seen some of the other channels over in America in theme parks for New Year's. So you never know. If I can find a park that I'm interested in, I might visit it for either Christmas or New Year. And it's not just going to be vlogs that are coming up in the channel. Obviously, there is more things that I do typically. There will be videos like this, although more kind of news related than just me talking about what I plan to do. There will be challenges. I've quite enjoyed the few challenges I did last year. Did a couple of A to Z challenges. I did the Disney challenge where I tried to do it in a day. I have one challenge in the pipeline, and actually it's one of you guys, one of the fans of the channel, has reached out to me to do a challenge. So that should be coming up probably around about Easter-ish time. But in addition to that, I'm always looking for ideas of new challenges. And I've got some kind of brewing in the back of my mind. But if you've got any suggestions for either parks or challenges or things you would like to see me do, drop it in the comments, because at the end of the day, I do this to entertain you guys, so quite happy to let you guys give me a little steer on what it is you want to see. The other thing is that the history series last year proved very popular. So there was Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, and Blackpool, and Camelot. So 4. I managed to get 4 out last year, which is quite good going because they do take several months of research. I am currently researching a Flamingoland one, which is the next one on the list, and I suspect I'll try and get 3, if not 4, out this year. So as always, I'll be asking you guys what parks you want to see. So there will also be those history series coming up on the channel. And then the other one that's a bit of an unknown right now is that clearly I got accepted to the content creator program with Alton Towers, and they've alluded to the fact that they will invite us down for various different events. I would be surprised if we're not invited down for opening day and the new flat ride. I mean, I'll be there anyway, so it makes no difference to me, but I would assume there'll be something there. Nothing confirmed, but that's the thing, right? So far they haven't told us anything about what 2025 holds and what events we can expect to be invited to. I'd love to see them invite us to Scarefest ahead of it, in the same way that Thorpe Park do with Fright Nights. They typically have a press event and they kind of launch it, and they allow those people to film through the mazes. I'd love to see Towers do that. Again, nothing is confirmed and they may not do that, but hopefully there'll be a bunch of videos from Towers and some unique things that they allow us to do. So at the moment that is what is planned. As I say, it is January, things can move around and change, and I'm sure there will be loads coming that I have not even thought about yet, and I'm happy to be guided by you guys, as I say, because ultimately it is for you, especially in the line of challenges. And if you want to see some challenges, take a look at this one here, where I went to Alton Towers and let AI tell me what to do.